Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are doing part 2 of my mansion. It's the family mansion. I think I'm gonna call it like the Seaside Family Mansion or something like that. Anyways, this whole video is the interior of the build. It's pretty long. Couldn't shorten it too much, so unfortunately this is really long. So if you do stay tuned for the whole video, I congratulate you and I thank you a lot. If you do like the video and you stay through the whole video, please give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Anyways, back to the build. So we start with the kitchen, which I do with most of my builds. I always start with the kitchen. It usually brings me a lot of inspiration for the rest of the build. And where I don't think I actually started with the kitchen for this build. I went straight to the movie room, which is my little special surprise for you guys. But for the editing purposes, I put the kitchen first because the kitchen is the heart of the home, I feel, and it needs to have like the spotlight on it for like, I don't know. I love kitchens. Kitchens are like my guilty pleasure. I don't know what it is. I just love the way they look. So here I'm using like the family, what is that? This is like the family pack, parents pack or something like that. I don't even know what the packs are called. This is so bad, I don't even know what they're called. Yeah, but that's one of the old cabinets that we had, and I never use it in this like beige color swatch. I usually use it in a lighter or darker, and not usually like a medium toned color. I don't know why this, and if I do use it, I would use it with like the white counter splash, but yeah, I don't know. I decided to go with all beiges like you would have seen in the first video, the first part of this house. I did a lot of beiges and light woods for this outside of the house, so also in the inside we're continuing with that theme. Yeah, I don't know. It's a new for me. It's a new challenge. I kind of like it actually. And I tried for a lot of this build, I tried to make sure that I wasn't going overboard like extremely fancy, because it's still kind of like a family home. Like, it is a mansion, but it's also somewhere where a family would live in and not necessarily just like a show home looking house. So I did want it to look a little bit more used and not so like extremely fancy that it looks like it takes an army just to clean the house and it's always immaculate. No, that's not how I want it to look. I wanted it to look more like a family aesthetic. I don't know what kind of aesthetic I was trying to explain there. Yeah, so it's a little bit more homey than a show house would be. I put a little bit more details into the house for like family photos kind of stuff. Like, I feel like that makes the house feel more warm. Anyways, yeah, so the kitchen is where I started with this green drapes in the build, and it really took off from there, and I was like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna go throughout this whole house just like a light green kind of colors with the beige really look nice. And I really went for it. You're not gonna see it in this room. This whole room is really dark. It's the movie theater room, and I love this room so much. It's probably one of my favorite rooms in the house, and I'm sure all my Sims would probably go to this room and hang out in there of their own free will, of course, because for some reason the Sims decide to go, and of their own free will they go and get like drinks from the bar, which is sometimes really annoying. Oh yeah, I was having big problems with the roof cutting in there, and that was really frustrating for me. So in order to fix it, I had to like bring the eaves in on that roof, which I kind of cut out, but it will be fixed when we go back to that room. Yeah, so I was really using a lot of the Get Famous stuff. I was thinking about using a lot of them, and you know, anyone can make a house with the stuff that comes in one pack. Anybody can just throw all that stuff in a house and call it done. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to make it have its own personality, its own originality kind of look. Like, I didn't want it to be just all matchy of the things that we get in the new packs. I'm sure I could build a house like that in the future of just the Get Famous stuff, and it would look beautiful, but I was not going for that look here, so I do use some of the Get Famous items that came with the pack, but mostly I try to use different stuff just to make it a little bit more original. I really was trying to use some of those drapes that have the lights, but they kind of clip into the projection screen, so that kind of sucked. I don't know. I love this room so much. I put so much effort and thought into this room. Oh, it's just my favorite room. I would love this in my own house. If anybody would disagree, I would laugh at them, because this is like everybody's dream, is to have like a movie theater room in their own house. Like, what kind of, those are like goals, just goals. I'm so excited. One day I will have this in my room. If I have to paint a tiny little room black and throw a chair and a big screen, I will. I don't care. Yeah, so I just put the movie theater posters up. I don't know why I did that. I always feel like every movie theater room I put those movie posters up, and maybe that's like the favorite movies that they have watched in this place. I don't know. Oh yeah, and then I throw the ice cream machine and a popcorn machine and some drink trays and the fountain. You know, this room's gonna be like the party spot. I would live in this room if I had a popcorn machine, an ice cream machine, a fondue like thing. Oh my god, dying. I would cry. It would be like the best day of my life. I would just snuggle up in this little space. Does anybody else love the movie theaters that much? I recently went to one of the VIP movie theaters in my city. They had just opened it, I think, the week before, so it was kind of like still brand new. And it was, it's the same price as regular theaters. It just, instead of having those like really uncomfortable chairs, you get like a recliner chair, and it's like the utmost comfiest chair I've ever sat in, and it like reclines all the way, and you can lift the bar up to cuddle with the person beside you. And not if you bring someone, that would be random. If you did it with a stranger, that would be really awkward. But no, like, I didn't figure that out until like after the movie, that the armchair arm thingy went up. So yeah, that was fun to find out. Oh, I don't know. I think I'm going to go to that theater more often. It's kind of out of the way. It's not really close to me. But if it means being super comfortable in a chair, and like literally I could have fallen asleep in that chair watching that movie, that's how comfy it was. Like, I think I'm going to go to that movie theater all the time now. It's the same price. Why wouldn't I? And it has like the same foods. It's so exciting. I think they also have one on the other side of my city that serves like drinks and food to you while you watch the movie, and I think that's super epic, because I hate waiting in lines for the theaters in my city. They just take forever. For some reason, I always go on the days where like so many people go to the theaters, and I don't even go to the theaters that much, so like I always seem to choose the days where everybody is at the theater, so that always sucks. Oh yeah, so this is like what I like to call the entrance sitting area. So like, you know how you have like two living rooms? I like to call this the living room where you would like bring people to show off what you have, but you would never bring them to your actual living room, because that's where like you just relax and have like a comfy time. This is a place where you bring like, you know, people who are advertising stuff at your door trying to sell you stuff. You're just like, yeah, come sit. Or your neighbors come, you're like, yeah, come have some tea, but you'd never bring them to the actual place where you rest and have a good time. This is just like the formal living room. Yeah, I quite like it. It turned out quite nice. As I said, I did use some of the Get Famous pack stuff, and I quite liked that. I totally forgot that we had that weird like town island presentation thingy table, whatever that is. I don't even know what it's called, but it's super cool. It's like a display case of like the town. I love it. And I thought I'd incorporate it in this build since it is such a huge build. I don't usually get to use big items like that, and they kind of don't really have a space in regular homes. So I thought this would be an ideal location, especially because we are in Brindleton Bay, and that is a depiction of Brindleton Bay in the display case. So I thought it was quite useful to use that. I usually don't get to, so that was fun. So I made this library, and I put it in all grays and all that stuff, and then I think the rest of the house is kind of like a little bit lighter tones, just because it's hard for grays. It's easier to match the grays, to me at least, and the grays kind of appeal to my aesthetic, so that's just how I like things to look, and it's not necessarily how the rest of the build looks. It's just kind of this room and the movie theater room are kind of the only two rooms that aren't the exact theme of the house, kind of like color scheme. So yeah, what else did I want to talk about? I wanted to talk about some of the bedrooms, because I'm probably not gonna speak for the whole 40 minutes of this video. So I think some of the bedrooms, like bedrooms in general, not just the bedrooms in this house, they're probably like my favorite things, because it's just they're just like especially fun to make when I have like a family specific to a build, because I feel like the bedroom is the one room that is uniquely yours, the one space where you can express your personality, and like every sim is different, you know, so it just translates over into the room when I'm building it. So when I made this family, I made specifically for this house, I knew I wanted a big mansion, and as I said in the other video, it was originally supposed to be a mini mansion and like a family home, but it ended up being a little bit bigger, which is fine by me. But I designed the mom and dad to be rich. I think the mom is like an actor and the dad is in business or something, I don't know. And I designed for them to have kids. I think they have 3 kids. They have a child daughter, a child son, and then a toddler daughter. And I designed rooms in that way for them, but there's also a leftover room that I kind of made like, it kind of looks like the whole master bedroom of the house, but to me it's just like an especially fancy room that I wanted to include in this house, because I hadn't used the items in that pack yet, and I thought they were quite suitable for the way the mansion feels. So yeah, I probably won't, when I play with this family and go back, I probably won't use that room as much. I might even make that the butler's room, the fanciest room in the house, but then there's another room that is more to the master bedroom feel of the house. So I put the mom and dad in that room, and you'll see what I mean. There's one really fancy room that I start off with, and it gets me really excited to start the rest of the rooms, and then I have like more regular looking rooms and like child rooms for them. And the laundry room is just exactly what it is. It's just a laundry room. It's a small space. I think I will be putting in the video tour at the end of this video, making it even more than 40 minutes, but it is quite the fun little video. I think I made it, I was feeling quite sick when I made it, so I might just put music over it because I was not feeling so well, so I didn't sound too great. But yeah, this video is I feel like every time I make a mansion, it's just like I put so much work into it. I feel like it's like a masterpiece, like an art, and I just get so excited when I finish a build, and it feels amazing. I don't know. Yeah, so this is the less formal living room. This is like the casual place where you would go to hang out, and it's just behind the movie theater room, so it's quite close. And I do end up changing quite a lot. I don't know if I recorded the first part. No, I didn't. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I did. But I refinished it to look a little bit different. I started with all grays, and that's the way I was going with the house. That's why the study started off gray. And then I go back and change it. Same with the dining room. I made it super ultra fancy with all the famous stuff, and then I changed it into more casual items. So I did not include that. That's why I'm doing a video tour. So stick around for that, and I will see you guys in the video tour. Bye!